Hello guys and welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video we are going to be talking about the graphics IC or the graphics section. In this video and other videos we are going to be looking at different sections of the mobile phone. In this one we are going to be talking about the graphics section, which is this one. And then when you look to identify the graphics IC, it's always a glassy surface and it's always written Lobo. When you see this Lobo, and it's always a glassy surface. It's different from the other ICs. This one is black, black. The other ones are black. See, black, black. But this one, you always see it's always small and long like this, and then it's always written Lobo. And you always see this coil close to it, which is the input voltage to this graphics IC. And then in this phone, it gets its input voltage from the battery. It gets its input voltage from the battery. Why? Because the charging IC is a small one. This is a charging IC. But in other phones where the charging IC is big, it gets its input voltage from the charging IC. Now, if a customer comes to your shop and bring a phone and say that the phone is on, but yet you cannot see the image because the screen is black. You can show a white light, but there's no image, or it's blue, yellow, just showing different colors, but and it's also glitching, making it as if it's showing rice. It's glitching, but there's no image. What you have to do is open the phone and bring out the motherboard and remove the shield, and then try to locate this IC. You always find it like this. In most phones, you find it like this, glassy surface, and with this time written Lobo. And now what you do is you have to first of all check for shorting by using a multimeter. In my other videos, I'll talk about how to find out how to check for shorting. So you have to check for shorting. You use your multimeter and put it on booster mode, and then you check for shorting. You take it and then try to figure out, check if any capacitor or this inductor capacitor, anyone that is shorting, and then you are going to remove it or use your short killer. But now after checking for shorting, what if there's no shorting? What do you have to do? And also take note that this graphics IC works in collaboration with the CPU, but that one will not go into detail. So if you check and you see that there is no shorting, what you have to do is you have to connect the battery. You connect the battery of the phone. Note that I said that in this phone, it gets its input voltage from the battery because it uses a small charging IC. So you see the voltage, immediately you connect the battery, you have the voltage. So you have to set your multimeter to voltage, direct voltage. And then you have to measure, you are going to measure to see if this IC gets the input voltage. Let's see if it gets the input voltage from the battery. So we are going to measure it. You see, it gets the input voltage, which is on that part of the coil, but you also have to check it on the other side of the coil to make sure that the voltage passes on both sides of that coil. So if you check it on that side, you see the voltage. You also have to come and check it on this other side. On this other side, if you see the voltage on one side and you don't see it on the other side, then what you have to do is to change that coil. That coil means that the coil is broken. So let's see the other side if we are going to get the voltage. Let's check the other side and see if we are going to get the voltage. you can see the voltage. So the coil passes the voltage on both sides. And then what you have to do is to also check if this IC gives the voltage, it uses that voltage in order to create the voltages that are required so as to produce the graphics that you see in your screen. And then when you measure, if you don't see any voltage, it means that you have to heat up this IC, or you have to reboil it, or you have to change it. And now if you check, you don't see any voltage, it means that this IC